Hello YouTube, it is Wednesday night and we're going to play a little bit of Phantasy Star Online. So I apologize for yesterday. I was trying out a couple of new things with my new setup. I've changed a couple of things around here at my desk. Can't really see from here, but the big thing I changed was my internet connection speed. Now that said, I have noticed that there are a couple of issues right now with the stream health and everything that keeps dipping out between yellow and green. But what I did was I ended up upgrading from a 25 down, 10 up DSL line to a pure fiber 300 up, 300 down line, and everything else is fantastic. I thought for sure the stream was going to be like super smooth, and for the most part it was. There was a couple of times where it dipped in and out, but overall it was pretty decent, I must say. That said, couldn't connect, couldn't figure out what I did wrong. Then I realized new internet connection, new modem, new router. I had to configure the broadband adapter. So I took it out. I got all the information I needed from my modem, reconfigured it, works fine now. Set up a couple of things for the DreamPi so that those games work as well. So everything should work pretty good from this point forward. But before we get started, we are going to jump on to Phantasy Star Online. I just want to show you all, for lack of a better term, a Dreamcast exclusive. So I got this in the mail today. I haven't opened it yet, so we're going to open this together. Hopefully it's as cool as I think it's going to be. So about a year ago, somebody announced that it was from a company called RadioShack, that they were going to be making a adapter for the Dreamcast that allows you, as far as I understand, to use USB and PS3, PS4 controllers for your Dreamcast, which is fantastic. The pre-orders went up sometime maybe about 6 months ago or so. Just arrived today. So we're going to open it up, take a look. Probably won't use it till tomorrow, but I'm planning on to actually doing a full video if it works the way I hope it does. Now I don't have any PS4 controllers. I do have PS3 controllers. To be honest, I really like the Dreamcast controller, so I really don't need to swap it out. But the reason I wanted this was that there's a lot of really cool peripherals that you can use for the PC that I would really like to use on the Dreamcast, particularly a racing wheel and also my arcade stick. So let's just open this up here and see what we got inside. So what we got is, okay, that's all garbage, a packing slip, and it just has all of my billing information. PC Super Converter. Okay, so this is what it is. It's from a company called Brook, and it is the Super Game Controller, Game Controller Super Converters. And apparently it can convert PS3, PS4 to Dreamcast controller adapter. Hot swappable, has turbo functions. You can do custom button configuration, and it is firmware updatable, whatever that means. But the big thing I was interested in was whether or not you can actually use just a regular old USB controller, and I think you can. If you look at the back here, it sort of shows you how you hook it up. Now it says you can hook it up to your PC. As far as I can tell, it's not telling you you can use USB controllers. It's not telling you that you can use anything outside of a PS3 or PS4, but I'm really hoping it does. I've got a couple things that I can test it out on, just not here. I mean, okay, so they got a little security sticker there. I don't want to completely destroy the packaging right away, so I am going to just clip that like that. Guess now it's mine. It's already officially been opened, and let's see what it looks like inside. So there are instructions right here, and here is the dongle. So it actually looks really professionally made. I'm really happy with this. Is this a button or just a logo? No, it's a button, so I'm not sure what that button does exactly. It looks like there's a regular USB 2.0 and a micro USB at the front. Now, given that they said it is firmware updatable, even if it is not compatible with PC controllers at the moment over USB. I assume with a firmware update in the future it will be. So overall, yeah, like, I mean, this all looks like it's custom made. They didn't harvest any parts. That jack is really nice, actually. Wouldn't even just be able to distinguish it from the original jack. So yeah, you just put that into your controller port, and then you just plug in whatever controllers that you need. The instructions here are pretty simple. They just give you some button mapping and some sort of quick description on how to actually set it up. So that's really cool. I'm really happy about that. Gonna play around with that probably later tonight, and I do have a couple of other cool things to show everybody, but we're gonna wait till later on in the stream. Okay, let's get right into the game and see who is online, and we are gonna enjoy a little Alexander Keith tonight. Cheers. Okay, so here we are. What's going on in the chat? Okay, Metal Gear Solid, are you talking about, oh, I guess with the, what's it called there? The, they're not Dreamcast, what are they called? Dreamcast discs, yeah. I forgot that you could play Metal Gear Solid on the Dreamcast, and from what I understand, it actually upscales it quite nicely. I haven't never tried to play any Dreamcast games. I think Metal Gear Solid, Gran Turismo, and what was the other game? I believe there's only 3 games that you can play from PS1 on the Dreamcast, but the stills that I've seen, it actually looks quite nice. All right, Tekken 3, there you go. So yeah, you can play 3 PS1 games on the Dreamcast. You need to have a special Dreamcast disc, and I guess you just load that up first and swap it out. I've seen them on eBay quite a few times, but I've never gotten around to actually purchasing one. Clearly you can get a full set for about 30 to 40 Canadian dollars. I'm pretty sure you can download the images if you're just looking at swapping them out and you have the original games. I definitely have Gran Turismo. I have Metal Gear Solid. I do not have Tekken 3. I was never a huge Tekken fan, to be quite honest. Alright, here we are connecting. Nice. Select a ship. Awesome. Okay, let's go to trusty old Altamira and see who is here. Alright, we got a new person. I don't believe we've seen this person before. Let's introduce ourselves. Hey, hey. Just jumping in. Let's go and see. Cool. I'm going to check out what the teams are like tonight. Alright, let's see. Organized team. Join team. I'm ruined. Cool. Well, let's try that one. Very hard is not too bad. I'm going to join. I'm ruined. You in? They can play very hard. Cool. Organize. Join. Oh, okay. Okay, good. Just the players bursting. I thought maybe that I'm Ruin was in Quest. So yeah, yesterday when I tried to stream, you might have noticed there was a couple of issues, and like I said, it was because I didn't configure my broadband modem to the new network. It was configured to my old network. So yeah, it was giving me a bit of fuss, but it wasn't too hard to figure out. Basically, I had to just start from scratch with all of the configurations that I had done in the past. It's not terribly hard, but I was also not familiar with my new modem either. I'm stuck without more players. Okay. Well, let's try and help our buddy out. Okay. Drop a pipe. I've got about an hour in me. Let's get some loot. Okay, cool. So we've got a pipe here, and do we need any items? I don't believe so. I think we're pretty well tweaked out. Okay, cool. So let's just blast through the ruins here and see what we can find. So there is some big news actually happening out there in video game world that I'm sure you're all familiar with right now. One topic, the other one maybe not so much. Everyone though. The Atari box pre-orders went live today. Yep, here. The pre-orders went live today, and everybody assumed that this was going to be instant vaporware. Now, this is an Indiegogo campaign, which means that you do not need a working prototype for it to work. It does appear as though the hardware is working. The big thing is, does it have any games? Now, as far as everybody knows, the only game currently available is Tempest 4000, which looks good. It looks like a decent Tempest game. There's nothing special about it. I'm hoping that the Atari box, that is sort of the platform, or that is going to be kind of the way they make this system successful. I'm really hoping that they make it a simple system with simple games. They don't need to have it capable of playing like AAA titles and big open world RPGs and things like that. If they keep it to kind of pick up and play games, I think the system might actually be good. The problem is point of entry. So the console, I'm pretty sure everybody wants, is the wood-grained limited edition console. And that is going to run you about $339 if you want the limited edition wood grain with both controllers. $339 plus shipping American dollars. That's quite a lot for what it is. I mean, it looks sleek. They still haven't shown much gameplay, but they seem like the video is very confident. Now, we've seen videos like this in the past, so there's no reason to, let your guard down right now in terms of what the game is actually or what the system's actually gonna be like. But I gotta admit, it does look pretty sleek. It's just incredibly expensive and doesn't appear to offer much more than what, a lot of the other sort of like simpler pick up and play Steam style games are offering at the moment. So I'm not 100% sure who the audience is for this. Like, they want to target the retro market, which is great, but at the same time they appear to be kind of catering to, I don't know, like the cell phone generation, I guess you could say, of video games. So we'll see what happens. We'll see if this comes out. Well, it's more than likely going to come out at this point. I'm going to sort of elaborate that on it in a bit, but the people that have pre-ordered it, apparently it's July 2019 that they're going to start shipping, which isn't terrible. Like, that's not too far off. It's a bit later than I think some people would have liked, but they've got to manufacture it, they've got to make games for it. The only thing is that I think they're really misrepresenting the success of this campaign. I think they wanted to make the pre-orders seem more successful than they actually were. So what I believe they did was they set their target particularly low, assuming that it was that the amount of backers were going to make the ratio of what they were looking to receive and what they actually got be very skewed. So the Atari VCS was only looking for $100,000 to make the system. $100,000 is particularly low to create an entire new video game system. At the moment, they are closing in at $2 million, which makes their campaign about 2,000% backed, which is fantastic. But it's also based on that 100,000 number, which I think was purposely set low to make it appear as though more people were, or it's going to be more successful than it actually was. So even though it still has 100,000, or it still has $2 million currently invested into it, it does not necessarily mean anything is going to happen. It's an Indiegogo campaign. They don't need to do anything. They take your money, and you're sort of hoping that you're going to produce something from it. If it was a Kickstarter campaign, you actually need to have a working prototype. Now, we've seen this happen in the past. We've seen it happen with like Coleco, Chameleon, and things of that nature. My hope is that it will at least be released. My hope is that the system will come out, and whether it's a success or not, I don't know, but at least there will be physical systems delivered to people at some point. I kind of believe that's going to happen. I don't know who purchased all of these systems. I have been on the Atari Age website. I've been on the Atari Age Facebook forum, sort of seeing what was going on there. There were lots of posts from people saying that they weren't going to buy it. Nobody on the Atari Age forums that I was able to see, or notice anyways, said they actually pre-ordered the system. So I don't know if it's speculators buying it up in like 2 or 3 at a time, hoping that more people are going to want the limited editions after the campaign closes, or there's a small, or actually significant at this point, silent majority that were just too afraid to speak up about buying the system. I'm definitely not going to buy it. It's way out of my price range, and I don't need another desktop console at this moment. I would like to play Tempest 4000. That looks like a lot of fun, actually, but with a $339 plus shipping American entry fee, it's just out of my price range at this moment. I just don't know what it has to offer me, quite frankly, that I couldn't get that experience somehow somewhere else. Even my Ouya can offer me something similar. There are similar games available on the Ouya system, and there's still people developing games that will play on that system. So I'm thinking, you know, maybe I'll wait. I've set a goal of mine. If I can make $400 on my eBay, that's after all things have been paid for, shipping and eBay fees and things like that. Between now and when the campaign closes, I might pre-order it, but you know, I'm not terribly excited about it. It is funny that Intellivision also released a statement saying that they were going to release a new console as well, and their console concept seems more in line with what I was thinking. Simpler pick up and play style games, much in the vein of the old Atari and old Coleco and old Intellivision games. You know, you didn't have to put in 500 hours to get the full experience. It was just play until you don't feel like playing anymore. Which was kind of the kind of games that I actually enjoy, to be quite honest. There are games on Atari, like I think some people think there are unplayable games on Atari, but games like Adventure, Pitfall 2, those are very, very playable games. But they're also games that when you're done, you can put down and not feel bad about it. Like you don't have to save it and pick up and go from there. It's all a lot of games that involve sort of memorization of levels and sort of twitch reaction in the gameplay, which means that the only way you really get anywhere in it is by practicing, and when you practice the game, it's just as easy as picking up and sort of just going through the motions. I had that experience once, maybe about 8 years ago, with Mega Man 2. Now, I can remember as a kid, it took me a while to figure out how to beat Mega Man 2. You know, probably about a year or so after owning it. And it was just kind of grinding through the levels and learning about all the different enemies and bosses, and learning about the different levels, and knowing when to use special attacks, and knowing when to use the special items and stuff like that. But knowing that and implementing it as an adult, it was just kind of like Twitch reaction. I just picked it up, and I hadn't played the game in probably 10 years, and I was able to beat it without losing a life in one session. And it was kind of amazing, actually, because I just kind of picked it up and I just started playing, and I realized, hey, I'm getting pretty far in this game. And then I got to the end and I realized, oh man, I could probably beat this game without losing a life. And sure enough, I did. I was quite shocked. It was also pretty fun because I was at a friend's house when I did it, and they got a kick out of it, to say the least. So yeah, we'll see what goes on with Atari. We'll see how much more people jump in. It looks like the campaign's slowed down a bit. You know, they've made about 200. I think they made their first 1.5 in about an hour, if not less. So it looks like the people that were really interested in it got what they wanted, and now it's just a matter of waiting on the wallflowers to see if they're going to jump in like myself. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. Nobody's really, you know, some of those old YouTubers that like to complain about this kind of stuff, I haven't really heard their opinions yet. There's only a handful of guys whose opinions that I'd actually respect. I like the older guys. I like Metal Jesus Rocks and John Hancock. They've been around the block, and you know, they've seen this stuff since they were kids. So it'd be really interesting to see their take on it and what they think the future of the Atari VCS actually is. There's another game actually that just released a trailer, and it was kind of out of nowhere for me. I didn't expect to see this, and I'm very, very interested in this. And that's Fallout 76. I'm assuming Vault 76. And from as far as I can tell, it is a trailer for an open world multiplayer Fallout game, which could be amazing. Something set in the Fallout universe, something that's multiplayer, interacting instead of, you know, a lot of the fun from Fallout is interacting with the NPCs. And the NPCs are fun because the way they feel real in context with the game. Like, you know they're not real. You know they're NPCs. They have a limited amount of responses that they can provide to you, but just the way the different kinds of personalities that all the NPCs have, it feels like you're talking to like a legitimate different character. And to have different people using those characters as avatars throughout the game, that can be a really amazing experience. So I'm pretty excited about that. I might actually pick it up as the first new game I can play on my new PC. I was tempted to get Fallout 4, but I will definitely lose myself in that game, and I don't want to go there. Kind of hoping that the Switch is going to follow through with what they leaked about Fallout 3 Anniversary Edition on it. Hopefully it's not online, you can actually play it on the road. And if so, you know, see you later. I'm going to be gone for a little bit. Okay, cool. Where are we going now? I think the only thing I've actually supported, so just going back to the Atari VCS and just reading a comment in the chat about the working prototype. I have supported things on Indiegogo, and they've actually come through. So for instance, Chris Moon, the gentleman who put together the Dream PSU, which I'm using currently in my Dreamcast, his campaign was Indiegogo. The only thing is, he had a very good reputation with the Dreamcast community before he put up that campaign. Like, we knew it was coming out, he'd talked about it. He'd shown not a working prototype, but working designs of what the system, what the PSU was going to be and what he was hoping to accomplish. So there was a lot of confidence that he was going to be able to pull it out. You know, his need for Indiegogo was very honest. It's just, this is going to be expensive. You know, I don't have a lot of money to put up the capital, so I'm going to start an Indiegogo campaign. So sometimes they do follow through. I think that was maybe one of two that I've supported. In terms of video game support, the only one that I've... Okay, 1 second here. Want me to stay on this thing? The only game I supported in the past was a big mistake. That's the thing, ever since then I've been really aware of bandwagons. So that game was the Cheetah Men 2 re-release. When they announced that, I hadn't really looked into the homebrew community that much, and I was just excited to see a new Nintendo game being released, like a physical Nintendo game. Nowadays, it's a dime a dozen. They've actually just re-released Mega Man 2, an official re-release actually. And they did the same thing with Super Street Fighter 2 last year. A big part of me was tempted to grab that. Like, I really enjoy Mega Man 2, but you know what? I have a copy of Mega Man 2 for my Nintendo. And I'm quite content with that. It's my original copy, the copy I've had ever since I was a kid. Don't feel the need to upgrade, especially if there's nothing new that they've added to the game. If they added some sort of new special, like maybe a bonus level or something to it somehow, or maybe a bonus character that you can unlock, if you wanted to, that could be kind of cool. But if it's just the same game in different packaging for $100 American, you know, I'm not interested. And as far as I know, it's still actually available. They did not sell out of that. And maybe they're just asking too much, or maybe they just read their market wrong, and not as many people are interested as they may have thought. You never know, right? But yes, I have supported those in the past. I kind of learned my lesson about jumping on bandwagons. Congrats. And I try to be a little bit more frugal with my disposable income when I can. That said, I purchased this adapter and I'm not even quite sure if I can use it. So we'll see what happens. That adapter actually with the PS3 controller might actually be good for playing a lot of fighting games. Now we'll see what happens. Alright, so what are we doing here? Bang, bang, bang. Knocking those guys out of the park. Oh, evade material, sweet. Oh, actually, you know what? I should probably feed my mag. Might be able to get it a few levels if I actually pay a little bit of attention to it. Okay, and there's some items in here I think I should probably use as well. Dun, dun, dun. Okay, we're good. Sweet. Actually, it's funny, I have been playing going back to the Atari VCS, I can't seem to avoid Atari tonight. I have been actually picking up and playing my original Atari 2600. Now I have a very slightly modded Atari Light Sixer Woody. The only thing that I added to it was I got rid of the original RF signal and gave it the composite upgrade, which is night and day. It's quite a good upgrade. You know, composite on modern day televisions looks really bad, but you know what looks even worse? RF. So it was kind of necessary for me, and actually my television does pretty well at upscaling older signals. Like it looks pretty good. I think it's about due for some new caps though. The picture does look a little bit blurrier than I remember, but couldn't tell you if that's because of the composite signal not agreeing with it or if it needs new caps. Given the fact it's probably a 40+ year old system at this point, wouldn't hurt to add some new capacitors, and there's actually not too many to it. If you look at an Atari board, they're actually pretty simple. I figure when I have it open though, I might actually hardwire in my Atari Flashback 2. So if you're an Atari fan, you just want to play the old games and you didn't know this already, the Atari Flashback 2 actually uses an FPGA board with, on the board there is instructions and there are ports to install a cartridge slot. So people have been installing cartridge slots in their Flashback 2s, but they've also been taking out the Flashback 2 board and hardwiring it into a regular Atari with a switch to switch in between. So I think I might do that for my Lite Sixer rather. Quick reconfig. Okay. No prob. Alright, we'll let them reconfig whatever they gotta do. Oh, cool. We've got another player joining the game. Good timing, Nadir. Jump in the pipe. We are about to go kill a boss. Alright, sweet. Okay, so we'll let everybody go back there, and in the interim, I am going to take this opportunity to show you guys a couple of pickups. So I was thinking I would do something different actually with a couple of these pickups. So historically, what I would do is show you guys things that I'd already picked up, and I'd sort of discuss the price and stuff like that, but I decided the couple of things that I grabbed this week I was going to leave in the bag with the prices on it, and maybe we can open it together, see if it's actually worth the money I spent. So the first thing I saw out there was this bag of cards. Now I always look in the bags of cards at thrift stores, especially with Value Village, and what I look for mostly are older tarot decks, because they can be very valuable and some of them are very cool. So I saw this one in here for $4.99, and I looked at it and I was like, okay, a tarot deck. And then I read it a little bit closer, and it was the Aleister Crowley tarot deck. So if you don't know who he is the modern godfather of Satanism. I think he actually founded the Church of Satanism, and this is a tarot deck with his illustrations on it apparently. So let's open it up and just see if it is what it says it's going to be. It also had a couple of other random cards in here. Let's see what we got here. Just a random, what is it, random Blue Jays deck, whatever that is. It looks like it was something they gave out free at a Blue Jays game. And what's this? This is a random just deck of cards. It looks like it might have something to do with, I don't know, nothing. They're just black cards with a little ghost on it. Okay, good enough. I'll put them aside. And what do we got here? The Aleister Crowley deck, the one I was most interested in. So the first thing I'm noticing is it's probably a full deck, because it also includes the instructions right here on how to read the tarot cards, and I'm mostly interested in the art. So I'm looking at it right now, and yeah, the art is kind of interesting. It's got that really 70s type look to it. Let's see if we can find some cool cards just to show you guys. So I generally like pulling up the Death card and the King card and stuff. Well, that's kind of interesting. The Knight of Swords even. Very interesting designs. So you can see that here maybe. There we go. Cool. Anyways, Aleister Crowley tarot deck. Cool. I'm gonna have to count the cards, make sure that they're all there. There's supposed to be 80 in this deck according to the back. The case looks like it's in half decent shape. One of the little tongues is missing on the box, but hey, overall not too bad. I'll have to price it up later, make sure you see if it's worth anything. Okay, let's get back to the game. Okay, back. All right, let's get it over here and wait for everybody to jump in. Elysian Shadows. Yes, sorry, I'm just reading into the chat here. Definitely an example of a game that got a lot of attention, a lot of support, and ended up being, you know, I can't even say a failure. Like, it's not even made yet. The team behind that, what are they called again? I can't even remember. Anyways, it's led by this guy named Falco Grillis, or Grills or something. And this guy is just a hustler, just a grade A hustler. He went on the DreamPod, the official Dreamcast podcast from the Dreamcast Junkyard. And just like, this is after the campaign was funded and everybody was asking about the games. I think it was about a year after it was funded, actually. And basically went on to defend why it was taking so late to have the game released. Like, it was released, when was it supposed to be released? I think 3 or 4 years ago now at this point. Still not even close. The guy will occasionally, on the Facebook group or on his YouTube channel, post a video of like little character designs he's doing and stuff like that. Like the very bare minimum. Now keep in mind, this game was fully funded many, many years ago. It had a target date of about a year after it was funded, and nothing's happened at this point. It is so disappointing. And everything that he's shown about the game, I'll be honest, it doesn't look that good. It looks like he's used like one of those generic RPG creators style pieces of software. He was going on ad nauseum about how he was creating this new engine that would allow different kind of shadows to be rendered and things like that in a 2D isometric platform. But as it stands, there's nothing. Like, he's got these really crude, rudimentary characters and battle scenes and stuff like that. Like, it looks like something out of Minecraft, to be honest. And you know, it looks like a cheap game. At least what he's shown of it so far. It's just really disappointing. And I am subscribed to his YouTube channel. I have liked his Facebook page for the Elysian Shadows, and that's simply because I want the updates. Like, I did contribute as a Slacker backer to the campaign, and I just like to see something from it, you know? Okay, boom, boom, boom. Oh, I should have probably jumped in there. Shoot. Well, let's just launch ours as well. Boom, boom, boom. Okay, 0. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of people that... Awesome. I'm not a big fan of people that start these campaigns and... Oh, did we lose a guy halfway through? We might have, actually. Oh, that's too bad. Make these grandiose promises and then just don't deliver. Like, I don't think I'm alone in that. But what I particularly didn't like was the Dreamcast Junkyard. Oh, someone... interview. You can still catch that on whatever podcast thing that you subscribe to if you want to get it, and listen to it. But it's so bad. Like, the guy is lying through his teeth about what's going on. The only part that I did believe that when he was talking on the DreamPod was about the difficulty on the team. It seems like they're so directionless. And what also pisses me off a lot about particularly Falco is that if you go to his YouTube page, he's posted a few videos, nothing to do with the actual development of Elysian Shadows, but he has posted a few videos of like him singing to his wife randomly, him giving a presentation on a theoretical VMU that he's created, or wants to create rather. It's just all really, you know, stuff not related to the project. He's got a lot of money for this project. It just seems really dishonest of him to be moving forward with other projects when he hasn't finished up the one that he took a lot of people's money for. So I don't know, there's really not much you can do at this point. If you were a backer, he's stopped responding to most of the Facebook requests for people to get their money back at this point, so I think the money's already been spent. There's really just nothing you can do. Okay, let's find out if they're using... Are you using batteries or a PSU for your LVI? Yeah, let's find out what's going on with this person's DreamPi setup. Okay, what's going on in the chat here? Lorsec is gay. Okay, I got a problem with my Dreamcast fixed. Did you get your Dreamcast fixed, or is there a problem that still ongoing? Now, Dreamcasts are one of those magical machines that are strangely easy to troubleshoot, believe it or not. Okay, what do we got here? Anything we need? Very simple machines. There's only really 3 components to it. We want to run a quest. A short one would be cool. Alright, so I need 4 more. My DP shutting down. It never does. Okay. Alright, well, let's just wait here by the guild counter then. And while we're waiting, I'm going to flip over to the other screen here. Alright, so they're going to hold up. Let's dig into the bag some more. So what else do we get? So this I saw, and I don't need it. Much like most of my stuff, I don't need it. I have one of these. I've got a 3DS actually, but for the price I was like, okay, you know, $9. It is a pretty decent looking Nintendo 3DS, but what caught my eye the most was I looked at the back here through the bag, and you know, check that out for yourself guys when you're looking at thrift stores, and there is a game cartridge in it. So I kind of gave it a quick pop up like that, and I could see that it was Yoshi Island DS. So for $9 I thought, okay, it's worth it for that alone. And then through the bag I was actually able to turn on the on-off switch right here, and as you can see, it powers up nicely, so there's no reason for me to believe this thing doesn't work. But let's just power it down and open it up and see what we got inside. Hopefully the hinge isn't broke, that's always a big problem. But from what I can tell right now, it's a really decent condition Nintendo DS Lite. It is the white model, and it looks like it's got not the expansion slot, or not the rumble pack or anything like that, but it's just got the expansion slot sort of placeholder here. It has the stylus, which is kind of nice, and let's see if it reads games properly. So let's fire it up. Okay, it's going to the Nintendo DS Lite splash screen. So far so good. Let's hit start, and it's going to that screen there. I guess whoever owned it before didn't want it to go to the gameplay right away. And yeah, it looks like it runs pretty well, so that's pretty cool. I've never played Yoshi Island on the DS, but I'm glad to have a copy, so pretty cool. Alright, let's go back to the game. They are all waiting for me, guys. Alright, cool. Glad to see you all. You have been called here for a special quest. The test measures the strength of hunters. Are you familiar with this test? Yes. Okay, I've done enough talking. Let the games begin. Cool. Sorry guys, got distracted. Okay, I guess there's no hiding on YouTube, is there? Alright, where are we going here? Are we jumping right into the game? It looks like we are. So let's just jump right into wherever we're supposed to be. Cave 2. Cool. So yeah, for 10 bucks, that's actually a pretty nice little score. Looks like the battery still works. I have plenty of DS chargers, so I'm not particularly worried about that. And yeah, it's just really cool that it came with a game, which is basically why I bought it. I figured for 10 bucks alone, I'm going to spend that on Yoshi Island on DS. I don't really care if it doesn't come with a case that much. I've got lots of DS games that don't have cases for them. It's just sort of the nature of the beast. I think what it is that so many people got their DS games used at places like GameStop, and GameStop notoriously threw out a lot of their cases, particularly for games like the DS for some reason. I guess maybe it was easier for them to store. Not 100% sure, but yeah, a lot of the times those cases got lost when they were traded in. Now, I think for a lot of the higher end games, they sort of kept them, but if it was a lot of the shovelware, they just tossed them. Actually, I ended up going to a GameStop recently because there's one particular game that I've been on the hunt for quite some time. And it's a little bit expensive. It's for the Nintendo 3DS, and I thought to myself, you know, maybe I'll try my luck at GameStop, see if they've got it in their used section. So I went to GameStop. They didn't have it. They had actually quite a few decent titles there in the used section for 3DS. I think they're starting to phase out the 3DS section, to be quite honest. But I was looking through it, didn't have what I needed. So I asked the person up at the cash, and they said, yeah, they've got it in another store and they'll order it in for me. So the game that I wanted was Jaws Ultimate Predator for the Nintendo 3DS. And the reason I wanted that game is because I always liked the Jaws game on the PS2. It's a lot of fun. You get to play as Jaws, so you go run around eating things and stuff like that. It looks like a lot of fun. And it's kind of rare, I suppose. It's one of those games that I guess was mature for the 3DS, so because of that it was maybe made in limited quantities. I'm not 100% sure, but what I do know is that if you're going to buy used on eBay, it's going to send you back about probably close to $40 Canadian. And the good thing about GameStop is the consistency in the way they price things is kind of all over the place. For like a lot of the rare titles, when they get it in, I don't know if it's because it's in limited quantity that they price them so low, but if you find a rare title or request a rare title for them to order in for you, oftentimes it's like a fraction of what you'd pay in the open market. So they were able to locate 2 copies within Toronto. They mailed 1 copy to the store, and I'm going to stop by there tomorrow and see if it's arrived yet. But it's going to cost me $9 for a copy at GameStop. Just another reason why GameStop is not all bad, I suppose. You know, like I know everybody loves to hate GameStop, but occasionally they come in handy. So hopefully they got it in tomorrow, and you know, it should give me $9 worth of entertainment for a little while on the old streetcar. All right, so bang, bang, bang. What else we got going on in the chat? Oh, thanks. I appreciate you loving the channel. I will keep it up as long as I can. There will be a couple of changes happening in the household sooner than later, which means I'm going to have to move the setup to a different room. But yeah, it's been nearly 2 years, I think, of streaming, particularly Phantasy Star Online, and yeah, it's still a fun game. I don't know how many times I've done these quests, but it's not that they don't get old, it's just that you always find something to enjoy. I think it's just the nature of having a dungeon crawler style game, and even though you might be able to max out some stats, which, you know, is probably not unlikely, but it's going to take a long time for me to max out stats to level 200 in this game. The way I play, like, we're talking many more years at this point, but you know, it's always possible, I suppose. And yeah, you know, like, I'm always learning things from other people as well, just about different ways to kind of strategize moves and stuff. When you first pick it up, it feels like a really simple game, and for the most part it is, but there are little nuances in it that make it quite enjoyable. Also, I think a lot of people that have picked it up, particularly before the DreamPi was accessible, we're playing the single player campaign, and that single player mission is pretty tedious. There is a video that I posted maybe about a year ago of blasting through the entire game on normal difficulty, start to finish. It's about a 4-hour video, and it is a slog because you have to complete the campaign on your own, offline, in order to choose things like hard, very hard, and ultimate in the online mode. So you've got to play it. Otherwise, you're going to be stuck playing the forest and all of those until you complete the campaign. But it means you're going to have to dedicate close to 20 hours of offline play, which to me, 20 hours of offline play in Phantasy Star Online feels like 80. You know, it just feels so slow. It's more fun playing with other players. It's more exciting. And now that, you know, playing Phantasy Star Online in particular has become so easily accessible. You know, every time I pick it up, there's going to be somebody online. When I first started playing this about 2 years ago, before DreamPi was kind of what it is now, where it's a very easy product to acquire, it's particularly easy to build nowadays. When I put mine together for the first time, I was piecing together information that I'd got from other websites and things like that, and it wasn't 100%. In fact, the video I made had not some mistakes. Everything will work if you do it start to finish, but there's definitely room for improvement in what I did. Just little things, like instead of using electrical tape, you know, I should have definitely used heat shrink. But I wasn't really that familiar with the product at that time. Whenever I do these little electronics projects, I'm learning as I go, typically. I never went to school for anything like that, so I'm always kind of getting a little bit better, a little bit more familiar with different ways of doing things. So yeah, there are definitely things in that video that can be improved, and I think the big thing that you can improve in that video is getting rid of the battery pack altogether and just putting in a wall wart, like an external power supply. That's going to make your life so much easier. You don't have to worry about the battery dying halfway through and then losing connection or anything like that, which happened to me a couple of times. And hey, if you've got a couple of bucks, I think it's still only about $25 or $30. You could buy a USB fax modem with the line voltage inducer built in from PC Wizard. They manufacture that stuff still to this day. Like, I mean, the Dreamcast Live Shop is quite fascinating. In fact, he's got a link cable that he's selling as well. If you want to just play couch co-op, maybe Ferrari, with 2 players, you'll need 2 different Dreamcasts, but you know, he's giving you the option. And the link cable is not a new product, but if you want to buy a link cable used, you're looking at spending close to $200. It's really not worth spending unless you just plan on playing couch co-op games. It's not really worth the price that it's going for in the used market right now. Okay, I think we're doing actually pretty well. What do we got? 300 enemies down, or we're quickly approaching 300. So boom, boom. Nice. Boom. Now somebody asked me before in a previous video, I think we were doing the same run, about traps and how it would be easier for me to get through the level if I use traps. But we are playing on very hard right now, which means that we do not have access to traps. That is only in the ultimate levels, unfortunately. Alright, Josh, good night, man. Good seeing you on here. Alright, let's jet through here. Is there anything? No. Bang, bang, bang. Let's see if we can get any more stat boosts, like power or something. That would be kind of nice. I think we're slowly, surely maxing out all that stuff. Okay, and I think we should probably actually beat our mag while we're at it. Mag, Dreamcast, give item. Diving. Great. Alright, sweet. Bang, bang, bang. Okay. It looks like Nadir's got a pretty decent character as well. Maybe we can send them a guild card to get familiar with them and then hopefully be able to play them in Ultimate another time. Now the guys here are actually creeping out. Like Jackster can play in Ultimate. As long as they're not droids. There's been a couple times recently, I think, that people have noticed where we've been playing the ultimate levels and it's nothing but droids. It's pretty boring, but it's also we die so quickly. We really need somebody that can use a lot of the decent tech, particularly with healing. Oh, score. Awesome. Otherwise, we just fall apart. Actually, if they don't buff you as well in-game, it's really hard to hit in Ultimate if your character doesn't have like a very specialized weapon. Oh, sweet, evade material. We can use that as well. Right, so we must be creeping up to the end of this level. Go through the warp. Where's it going to take us? Runes 3. Awesome. Well, thanks. I appreciate you watching the old videos, and hopefully there's something in there that, you know, is you can pick up that you missed the first time around. And my privilege to be able to interact with everybody here. The privilege is all mine, my friend. Alright. We are quickly approaching the end of this level. It's Dilla Ray, I think, is the... We just gotta beat the boss and then that's it. Bang, bang. Okay, any good items we can get would be kind of nice. I think really at this point, unless we find like a really rare ring, which from what I understand can only be crafted at this point, our armor and our weapons are pretty much top notch. Now, there are a couple of weapons that I really want to bring to the Garen at some point and move their statistics around a little bit. Particularly the Android rifle, which is a very useful weapon still. It hits for quite a bit, but it would be nice to get it so that it's just its hit power is up. Right now I think it's most of its stats are reflected upon specific levels, but if I could just get the actual hit power up 30%, that'd be nice. Okay, let's get this guy. Boom. Oh, sweet. These guys are so annoying. Holy smokes, just die already. Wow. Yeah, I should probably check my stats because I have this feeling item. Whip. What time is it? Oh, it's not that time yet. Okay, what do we got? Oh, it's the next level. We're not that far away, actually. Nice. Alright, cool. Well, we'll play around with the Heaven Punisher for a little while. That's always a fun weapon to break out. I wonder if the other guys are wondering what's going on here. Nobody said anything yet in the chat. Alright. Whoa. Oh, this weapon is always so much fun. Alright. Nice. Okay, cool. I should have probably actually jumped in. Oh, geez, I didn't even realize that I had 100 PB. Oh well, c'est la vie. Okay. Good thing about this is that the Heaven Punisher seems to penetrate the defense that those guys have, whereas if they stay still for a certain period of time, you can't actually inflict any damage. Oh, let's get out of here. Okay, and the funny thing about this weapon is it only works depending on the different time cycle of your game, like the special attack. So you gotta bring it out just at the right time in order to use it effectively. Otherwise, it's just kind of a random, lame-ish pistol. Where did I find this again? I want to think Kuroheim, or Kurohini rather, gave it to me, but I think it might have actually been somebody else. Oh jeez, I'm only hitting for 40, are you serious? Okay, we can actually probably use those die mates. Yeah, let's just feed our mag while we're here. We're so close to another level up. We'll probably actually get one right now. Sweet. Alright, and we're good. Nice. Okay, so I am going to switch back over to my S rank weapon. Well, actually, you know what? Not here. Let's just wait a sec. This might come in handy, particularly for this first part of the level. Black King Bar is a good weapon. Okay, I'll have to look into that. Okay. Good thing about this is it will auto lock for me. All I have to do is find the enemies that you can actually hit. And it's oh, shoot. Did not mean to do that. Damn. Alright. Even in very hard, these guys are still a threat. Where are they all hiding? Bang. Okay, cool. Oh, did he stomp right on us? No, okay. Okay, the good news is generally get through this evolution pretty quick, and the second evolution for that matter. It's just that third evolution that's a little bit up in the air in terms of whether or not we're able to actually finish it off. Okay, chase him down. He's gonna stop. He's going to probably launch some form of an ice attack. I think my nice player has died. Oh, fuck. Help. Okay, where's he hiding out? Get hit quick on it. Alright, where is he hiding? We can definitely bring him back. We can find him, but I think in this we're actually supposed to sort of wait it out until he comes back. Oh shit, okay. Somebody is photon blasting. Okay, where's our player? Is he gonna jump back in? I wonder which player it was actually. I saw somebody cry for or request help, but okay, it looks like they're still in. They're in game now, so everybody's back to life, but I guess we still get a penalty of minus 60 seconds, so whatever that penalty is. Okay, let's run, try to draw the fire out. And try to focus our shot. Nice. Whoa. Alright, we still have that minus 60 seconds. I think that was well over 60 seconds, actually. Cool, that was awesome. Alright, I wonder if we got anything from this. Well, somebody got a level up, that's cool. Okay, system will shut down in 30 seconds, so I guess that means we have to run around and FU falls. Damn right. I've killed him like 200 times. Still doesn't get it. Alright, there's nothing here. I guess we just wait to fade out. Perfect. Cool. So, let's see if we get anything back here. Probably not. Okay, well, let's feed our mag first before we do anything else. Give item. Give item. And give item. Sweet. Okay, do we have anything we need to sell? I don't think so. We can use that. We can use that. Okay, we'll sell that. We'll sell that. We'll see what that weapon's all about. It's probably nothing that we can use. Item. Okay, yes. What do we got here? Mind arms. Okay, sure. Do you want to equip it? Hell no. Sell. Mind arms, and there we go. Okay, so we want to buy some dimates, some trimates, and hey, if there's escape doll, get it. Those things always come in handy. Score. Alright, that was a good game. Good game, everybody. Okay, let's go back to the guild here and let's talk to everybody. What do we got here? UGB, you're back. Well done. You've completed the simulation. Please wait while your score is calculated. Cool. These are excellent results, UGB. You've acquired more points than anticipated. Pick up your reward at the guild counter. Awesome. Okay, so I can't remember how many points they said to get. I think it's a black ring. And I still have 36 photon. Cool. Well, I should probably use those photon points sooner than later because I'm really not getting any new ones. Alright, good stuff. Well, let's save our game before we get any further. Character data saved. And let's see if any of our teammates are going to come back to the lobby. In the meantime, let's just flip over here. And what else we got? Nope. While hunting, I found this as well. So the cool thing about Value Village this week is that they had 50% off on books and DVDs and CDs and stuff like that. So they actually had quite a decent selection of stuff to pick up. So this doesn't have a price tag or anything like that on it, but I did manage to get a copy of Neil Gaiman's Neverwhere, the graphic novel version. So it was only $2, which is kind of nice. And what else? I guess the real score was in DVDs and Blu-rays, and actually one thing I'll show you guys at the end after we log out. So Blu-ray of the original Ghost in the Shell. This is a 2.0 version, so it's a little bit of a remastered version, but hey, Blu-ray, they're pretty decent. I like the original Ghost in the Shell. This is actually a movie I really enjoy, Splice. I don't know if you've seen it before or not, but it's actually a pretty decent little sci-fi movie. It's pretty cool. This one, just because, hey, why not? Godzilla 84. I saw it once a long time ago, and I'm sure it's bad, but hey, why not? And this I more or less got for the packaging. So it is the Army of Darkness limited edition collector's DVD. If you look at the back, it's limited to only a few hundred copies, few thousand copies, I should say. So it's on DVD, and you know, I do have it on Blu-ray, but what I ended up doing was just packing all the Blu-ray guts into the DVD. So I just kind of keep it like that. So I'll play my Blu-ray version, but I'll have the DVD on the side. And yeah, it just looks kind of nice. It looks like it's like an embossed gold spine and everything like that. One of my favorite movies of all time. Saw it a long time ago when it first came out. Okay, cool. So let's just say good game, everyone. I'll be back Saturday, probably. Night all. Cool. Well, it looks like everybody's leaving, so I'm glad that we all got to say goodbye and good night, and let's leave ourselves. Awesome. That was good. I like playing with those guys. There's a couple of new players on recently that are a lot of fun to play with. They're just they're generally on when I play, and they just seem like friendly folks. So very cool. All right. Well, the last thing I want to show you guys is something that I picked up today. I don't know if it works. I really don't know anything about it because, like I said, I was trying to save these things for tonight, actually. So picked it up. It looked like a lot of fun. The label on it caught my eye immediately. I didn't really know much about the product, but I kind of had an idea based on the label. So this right here. So first things first, the price tag, if you look at it, $14.99. It is a RadioShack Battle Iron Claw. So let's open this thing up here right now. Let's just figure out what we're dealing with. From what I could tell, RadioShack had this really interesting product. I actually have it as well, the Armatron. And that was a really fun toy. It was like a robotic arm. Now this appears to be the Armatron on tank tracks. Okay, so let's just open up the packaging here. I like these old RadioShack boxes because the tops just pop right off. Let's put that to the side. And actually, let's just move our Dreamcast out of the way so we're not damaging anything. And we'll bring this over here. And right away, that's cool. Like, I did look inside the box just to see if everything was there, but I didn't get a good look at it because I didn't want to pick it up if it was an empty box. But came with the instruction manual, which is always useful. What do we got here? A bunch of random hockey cards. I'll put those right in the garbage. A copy of the Lee-Side Advertiser dated June 1st, 1992. Sure, why not? Let's just see what that's all about. But here is the unit in question. So let's pull it out and get a better idea of what we're dealing with. So, like I said, I did open it up in the store just to make sure that we weren't getting an empty box. It felt quite heavy. Right away, this is pretty challenging to get out, all this old styrofoam. Okay, cool. So here is the tank. Pretty large. It looks like the claw opens up here, obviously, and it actually feels pretty heavy duty. Apparently you can move this for some reason. I don't know if that's an IR or RF sensor or something like that. This is radio controlled, and let's see if we can pull out the actual remote control. It seems to be a bit stuck. Actually, you know what's going to help? This is the antenna for the remote. I bet you if I screw it in, yeah, that's going to work. We can just kind of ease it out that way. So yeah, here's the remote control for the Battle Iron Claw. It looks like you got the same functions as the Armatron, except on a neat little remote control. So I'm gonna throw some batteries in this, maybe tonight even, and play around with it before we totally go to bed. But yeah, a pretty cool score, I think. I briefly did an eBay search before even seeing if this thing works. It might not even work, you never know. And it looks like it's it goes without its package in non-working condition for, you know, 3 figures. So we'll see what, you know, a boxed working version might go for. I'm not necessarily interested in selling, but I am curious just to see what it goes for. Anyways, guys, that's it for pickups. That's it for Phantasy Star tonight. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. This is always so much fun. And yeah, we will see you guys again shortly. I'm definitely gonna do something with this. I think what I'll do is maybe make a video that isn't necessarily live streamed, but just a like a well edited video just demonstrating how it works. I'm gonna read the instructions and stuff like that just to kind of make sure that what I think it can do, it can actually do. But I'll let you guys know either way. In the meantime, thank you so much for watching. Really appreciate it. Rate, comment, subscribe, all that fun stuff. It always helps more people kind of filter through and join the chat and join the online Dreamcast community and everything like that. So have a good night, guys. Have a good week, and we will see you on the weekend. Take care.